What's up, motherfuckers? Time for some more DVDs. You'll be glad to know that after this video, the next video will be the last of the A to Z of the collection. But I have obviously been buying DVDs since I started doing this. So I've got some DVDs, in the early parts of the alphabet that I bought like 6 months ago that I haven't gone to show you. So there'll be, I'd say 3, maybe 4 updates after this is finished, and then hopefully I'll have gone to the point where I've shown you everything. Pardon me, and I could just show you stuff that I've picked up recently rather than a long time ago. So, I mean, let's get on with it. We've all got busy lives. I haven't. It's 1 a.m. But anyway, so the first DVD I'm going to be showing today, Taken. We all know Taken, the Liam Neeson movie. His daughter gets kidnapped. I will find you and I will kill you. All of that business. This is a pretty entertaining movie, I've got to say. Unexpectedly entertaining, I found it as well, because I mean, this movie was a really big deal and it didn't really sound like my sort of thing, but I checked it out and quite entertaining, quite bloody, quite violent, some bit of torture and whatnot. So yeah, that's Taken. I won't go on about Taken because we all know that movie. Team America World Police. The South Park guys strike gold again. With a very funny movie. The puppet sex scene still makes me laugh shitloads every time. There's a ton of funny scenes in this movie. I love the computer intelligence. Really entertaining movie. I've got a lot of love for Team America. Very funny movie. So yeah, I mean, I'll move on from that again. That's another one we sort of all know. Next up, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the TV series. This is series 1 and 2 of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 80s cartoon. Obviously, series 1 was only like 6 episodes, and series 2 was a full series. That was they were sort of aired back to back, and series 1 was like aired over like 5 consecutive or 6 consecutive nights or something like that. But there's a few bonus episodes, much later ones thrown in, which is pretty cool. I love the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The original cartoon is one of my favourite pieces of turtle media. Definitely check out the original cartoon incarnation of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Really fun, great for kids. If you've got kids and you want to watch some cartoons with them, they'll probably really like this. That's the series 1 and 2 of the Ninja Turtles. The only way to get the full series is to import it from Germany at the moment, which I haven't found the time or money to do, but I would like to eventually. Next up, a movie I reviewed just the other day, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie from 1990. I won't blather on about this one too much, but obviously I'll leave the link to the review so you can check that out if you're interested. Really good movie, very entertaining, surprisingly dark coming off the back of the TV series. Really nicely shot, all of that sort of thing. Good movie. That's a very good movie. Next up, we've got a double pack. We've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze, and we've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3. A lot of people, it's quite funny, a lot of people mistakenly refer to the third movie as being subtitled Turtles in Time, which it is not. That's the video game. It reached the point where people did it so much that on a Blu-ray release of the movie, they actually officially renamed it Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 Turtles in Time. These movies aren't that good, particularly the part 3 is pretty shitty. Second one's okay. It could be a lot worse, but you know, like I say, the first movie is definitely the one that you need to check out. But you know, these two are definitely a kind of big fans only thing. Let's say. Unfortunately, I don't have any of the other Ninja Turtles movies. I mean, I'm not going to buy the 2 most recent ones, but I am going to get the animated one from a few years, well, about 10 years ago now, I guess. I'm going to get that when I get the chance. I remember that coming out. That's a good movie. It's just called TMNT. But yeah, no, I need to check that out. Again, haven't seen it in so long. But anyway, next up, Teeth. The great horror black comedy. This is one of my sort of nostalgic movies that I remember watching with friends after school when it was sort of new out, and we were sort of far too young to be watching a film about a woman with teeth in her vagina. Very entertaining movie about a chick who is kind of one of these chastity ring types. But when she ends up going through her sort of sexual awakening, as it were, she discovers that she has teeth in her fanny. This leads to some rather funny genital severing scenes, and a lot of other sort of silliness that's very entertaining. Overall, a very good, fun movie. Maybe I should review Teeth. I'd need to watch it again, though. I haven't seen it in quite a while. Next up, Terminator 2, Judgement Day. I do have Terminator, but it's part of a box set that I showed in the previous videos. An Arnold Schwarzenegger box set that's got like 4 of his films in, and one of them is Terminator. But Terminator 2, one of my favourite action movies of all time. Pretty much the perfect action movie. I mean, I'm really not a CGI person. Optimum Home Entertainment leaflet. I'm really not a CGI person, but I love the CG in this movie. Because they really used it well. Rather than just using it as a cop-out, they used it properly, and that's what I like to see. So yeah, this is an excellent movie. Like I say, one of my favourites of all time. It's a real epic, 2.5 hours. But it's totally worth it. Every time I see this movie, I sit all the way through it and really enjoy it all the way through. That's Terminator 2 Judgment Day. I'm sure everyone's seen this film. I mean that's all good. Next up, Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines. I haven't seen this in fucking donkeys. I remember it being alright. Probably nothing special, but that's just what I remember. I'll go on quickly, I haven't got a lot to say about that. And this movie is shite. Terminator Salvation. Christian Bale freaked out on the set of this movie, which is awesome. And he stays in character the whole way through, which is very entertaining. Kind of a shame Christian Bale was in this. I mean, I like him a lot. I like the Dark Knight trilogy and American Psycho. Cool stuff. But next up, let's move on to a film series that I've got a lot of time for in my heart. This is Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. Now, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1 and 2 I've got on Blu-ray. So if you go to my Blu-ray video, you can see the overview on Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. If you're wondering, and you don't already know, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is my favourite film of all time. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, kind of in the middle. This is a little bit better than Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. It's just kind of generic. I think it came out in 1990. And it is kind of a very sort of a typical sort of slasher movie. It moved more in a slasher movie type direction for this one. Which is fun, and it's definitely a well-made, sturdy slasher movie. It's got a pretty low body count, though. That's the problem. Overall, not bad stuff. It's got Ken Foray in it. He plays a pretty cool character. The effects are really good. The acting's really good. In general, this is just a really good, strong, solid, sturdy movie. It's just not got anything to really make it stand out, if that makes sense. This movie was actually banned in the UK for quite a while, actually, up until about 2004, I think. Which is kind of cool. And I mean, you know, looking back on the film, it's definitely kind of interesting to see, because I mean the film itself isn't that much more graphic than most other horror movies around the time, but it is you know, it's all down to the name and the connotations of the name that it was banned, I think. This DVD contains both the X and R-rated cut of the movie. I've never watched the R-rated cut, I've only ever watched the X-rated cut. Apparently the R-rated cut is like zero gore, zero fun, but like I say, I've never actually seen it. I don't see the point at this stage. Fun fact, this was the last movie to be rated X in the US before the ratings board switched over to NC-17 in the States. So yeah, that's a fun one. Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. That's a cool movie. I like that one. I don't like this one. Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. This movie was so bad that the company releasing it actually shelved it for 2 years. And once Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger, the two stars, had become famous, they pushed it out the door in a slightly re-edited format. And this piece of shit was given to the world. This is the only film Kim Henkel ever directed, the one of the scriptwriters on the original Texas Chainsaw. He stepped out into the director's chair, well, sat into the director's chair for this one, and never directed again, and there's very good reason. It's because he's a shite director. This is a terrible film. Leatherface is a tranny in this movie, which is quite entertaining. Which kind of adopts an element from the original film that wasn't really explored in many of the sequels, but it takes it way too far, you know. But you know, overall, it's a terrible movie. I mean, it's only really good for curiosity. If you want to quench a bit of curiosity, then check it out. But you know, whatever. So after that, the series was left to fester for a while and came back with the Platinum Dunes remake. This is widely credited as the film that kind of triggered off the remake boom of recent years, the last sort of 10 years or whatever. I don't like this movie. I mean, it's a perfectly well-made movie. It's just kind of generic for me. And as a remake, it does very little to kind of align itself with the original Texas Chainsaw. Because I love the original Texas Chainsaw, as I say, it's my favourite movie. This is incredibly slick, doesn't really follow the same story at all. I mean, it's only really a remake in the sense that it features Leatherface. So yeah, that's kind of why I dislike this movie. It's an okay movie in its own right, just kind of generic. This one's shit though. Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning. This movie is very bloody, but that is all it really has going for it. This movie. The trouble with it is it claims to be an origin story, and what you get is like 20 minutes of origin story at the beginning, and then after that it's just a generic, watered down kind of version of the original remake. But, you know, I mean, I know people who tell me that this is a great movie and that they think this is one of the best in the franchise, aside from the original, which I just don't see it at all. This is right down the bottom of the barrel for me. But yeah, no, Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning. Whatever. I haven't got Texas Chainsaw 3D. I need to get that one, even though it's crap. This is the remake of The Thing. I haven't seen this yet. Literally just bought it today. The reason I decided to go for it and take the plunge on it is that I reviewed the 80s version of The Thing a few weeks ago, and a couple of comments were asking me about my thoughts on this movie, which I'd never seen, so I've got hold of it. I'll watch it soon, hopefully, and quite possibly let you know in a review. It might be quite an interesting idea. like I say, literally just picked this up today. So yeah, that's the 2011 version of The Thing. Okay, next up, a bit of a nostalgic film for me. This Is England. This was like my generation's Trainspotting. It's just a really cool period piece about the early 80s in the north of England. Deals with a lot of really cool themes. Obviously, its primary sort of theme is racism and all of that sort of thing. You know, the rise of the far right in England, kind of street level politics and racism. Really cool movie overall, set against the backdrop of like the skinhead culture, the two-tone movement, and all of that sort of thing. If that sounds like your cup of tea, check this out. If you're watching in the UK, you've almost certainly seen and loved this film. If you're about my age, I'm 21. If you're about around that age, you probably are already well aware of this film and love it. So yeah, that's This Is England. All right, next up, classic. This Is Spinal Tap. This is a double disc edition, and I'll tell you a weird thing about this one. The disc that is printed as the extras disc, which is this one, has the film on it. The disc that is printed as featuring the film has the extras on it. This is yeah, like I say, they're printed backwards. Yeah, I love This Is Spinal Tap. One of the funniest movies ever made. Yeah, the guys are geniuses. The music's great, and the comedy is just as fantastic. I love it. If you haven't seen Spinal Tap, what you're doing? This is superb stuff. You need to see Spinal Tap. Next up, we've got a sitcom. Al Murray, the pub landlord in Time, Gentlemen, Please. This is a battered up old case. But it ran for 2 series, and they were very long series. There was 37 episodes. This is kind of the origins of Al Murray, the pub landlord. This was a sitcom that kind of incorporated a lot of his sketch show and stuff. He wrote a lot of... He wrote it with Richard Herring, so if you like Richard Herring, you need to check this out. It's a really, really entertaining sitcom, very good. Lots of recognisable faces in it. Nadia Sawala's in it. What are their names? I've forgotten. The guy from Quadrophenia. Fuck's sake, why can't I remember his name? That's going to do my head in. I'm going to remember it after I finish the fucking video. But yeah, no, Mark Bannerman, a few other, well-known faces from British television. So yeah, that's a very funny sitcom, I've got to say. For fuck's sake, he was Kevin in EastEnders. Oh Jesus, I can't remember his name at all. Not coming to me. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, I haven't watched this one yet either. Got it fairly recently. Timecop. It was like 50p, and I like a shitty Van Damme movie every now and then. So I thought, why not have a go? Looks kind of silly and entertaining. Something about time travel and murder or something. But whatever. That's Timecop. Total Recall. Yeah, this is sick. The Paul Verhoeven directed Arnold Schwarzenegger film, in which he suddenly discovers that his life is not true. He has been living a lie. His mind has been wiped and his history erased. Yeah, badass movie. There's a woman with 3 tits in it. A ton of kind of really cool special effects. One of my favourite Arnie movies, in actual fact. Yeah. So yeah, that's Total Recall. Very entertaining stuff. Next up, one of my favourite movies, Trainspotting. If you want to see just one of the best ever portrayals of anything, check out Trainspotting. This is a kind of drama, black comedy movie about drug addicts living in Edinburgh in the late 80s. Obviously provided kind of a big, launch pad for the careers of Ewan McGregor, Robert Carlyle, Ewan Bremner, Johnny Lee Miller, Anyone else? Kelly MacDonald. But yeah, no, awesome stuff. Great movie. Trainspotting, one of the most intelligent movies I've ever seen. Great stuff. Next up, True Romance. So this was written by Quentin Tarantino. He sold the script on. I believe this actually came out after Reservoir Dogs, but he sold the script before Reservoir Dogs. So it took a while to produce. But, I mean, True Romance, cool movie, man. Really cool crime movie, you know, sort of in the vein of some of Tarantino's earlier stuff. It's, you know, it's a crime movie with, you know, a romance running through it. You get Patricia Arquette and Christian Slater playing this couple who meet and agree to become part of a drug deal, I think. Sorry, I'm wrong. They get hold of a load of drugs that don't belong to them, and they need to try and shift them as quick as possible so that they can move on and hopefully retire off of their winnings. But yeah, no, this is a sick movie. Lots of sex and violence. The kind of usual Tarantino wit. It's a little on the long side, almost 2 hours, but True Romance is a cool movie. So yeah, that's that. Next up, and I haven't seen this movie in fucking ages, is Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me. I think I need to watch the series. I've never watched Twin Peaks. I watched this movie and was kind of like, what? So yeah, I mean, it comes with a really nice booklet, just full of like essays on the film and promo art and all of that sort of thing, which is pretty rad. I love it when they do things like that. This is quite a nice addition, actually. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people consider it to be one of David Lynch's worst movies. I would really have to wait until I've seen Twin Peaks, because I haven't seen Twin Peaks. Can you believe that? And then I'll watch this again. Maybe, you know, comment on how I feel on the channel. Okay, next up, Unhinged. This was a video nasty in the UK. One of the slightly more obscure ones, I suppose you could say. Comes with a nice little interview with the director, is it? Yeah, the director. Unhinged is, I mean, it's a real cheap movie. It's what, like 70 minutes long? 76 minutes. Really short, cheap movie. Not much special effects to write home about, but it is quite an interesting story. Moves really slowly, though. The twist at the end is kind of cool. Other than that, it's kind of a, you know, like I say, kind of a slow and boring movie. But the ending is good. Not necessarily the full payoff that you'd want. It's about these sisters who are involved in a car crash and end up staying at this house with this weird woman and her daughter. And, people end up getting killed. There's a few quite bloody scenes towards the end. But like I say, all of that sort of thing's few and far between. I mean, overall, it's not a terrible movie, but it's certainly not anything to write home about. I picked it up because it's on the Video Nasties list. I'm glad I saw it. It was definitely interesting. So yeah, that's Unhinged. And we'll finish on this one. Urban Legend. I saw this recently for the first time. This is the 90s slasher movie with Jared Leto and who else is in it? You got Jared Leto, Alicia Witt, Rebecca Gayheart, Robert Englund pops up in it. Yeah, I mean, this was a perfectly entertaining movie, I've got to be honest. It kind of tried to do a Scream type thing, only with urban legends instead of horror movies, which was a cool concept. And I really enjoyed that, kind of seeing all the references that were put in and stuff. Unfortunately, it's just not as well written as Scream, so it kind of comes off a bit hokey. The twist ending was pretty cool, though, I've got to say. That was a kind of pretty fun. I've got to say, overall, it does feel a little bit too close to Scream to kind of stand on its own merits. But you know, by standards, it's a pretty good movie. I will give it that. Urban Legend, not bad. Okay, that'll do it for today, folks. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Also, please go down into the description and check out my podcast. It's called Ironcast. It's all about music, and it's superb, and I'm very proud of it, and it's my favourite thing, and I would highly recommend you check it out. Till next time, I'll leave you, and I'll be back pretty soon with some more DVDs to show you. Yeah, we're almost out of the woods, folks. So yeah, I'll see you pretty soon.